What kind of improvement you seen? A couple coaches have said that the difference between spring ball and fall camp with the O-line has been big. What have you seen there?
Biggest thing is just probably getting those guys, I guess really getting Reese Adiambo back, but then letting them all get settled in kind of their positions and get a little bit more settled into the offense, and probably settled in with me. And they've been doing a pretty good job, so we'll see how it goes.
You wanted, toughness and physical and that kind of stuff, or are they making the progress there that you want to see?
Yeah, the toughness part, yeah, we still can play more physical. And I think it's a thing that comes with a little bit with maturity and game reps and all that. So we'll see where we're at after the first game.
I guess no better way to find out where you stand than go play against an SEC D-line, huh?
No doubt. We got a great challenge. There's some great players in that front seven for them. And it's an awesome opportunity for us, and we'll see how it goes.
Kim Dichie, obviously the guy everybody knows because of the recruiting. What do you see from him on tape?
He's big, powerful. Got banged up at the end of the year last year, and from everything you hear, he's playing really good football right now. And so you can see some stuff that he was pretty special last year. So you can only imagine what he's doing this year, and it'll be a great challenge for our guys.
Who else in that front seven stands out to you?
Their nose guard, Isaac Gross. Don't know what his situation is. I think he was maybe third on the depth chart or something the other day. But he's a good player. I like the guy. He's tough. You can see some games. He's not wearing gloves. You don't see that very often. I like that. I respect that. He gets off the ball really well. And their whole front seven, I mean, their ends, good speed rushers. There's some size too. They're backers. I mean, they got a really good defense. And like I said, it's a great challenge for us.
Their defense can move around a lot on you and make you guess what you're doing, or
they can. They definitely have that ability. Who knows first game of the year what their plan's going to be, but they have the ability to do that.
Obviously you got Jay back and leading that run game. Big expectations in terms of being able to run the football this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think every year, whether you're an offense or a defense, your whole mindset is stop the run and run the ball. So. Obviously, we'd love to be able to do that.
Obviously, how much of it is an unknown for you? Obviously, you see what your group has in practice, but you said you want to see out there and see what you have. What kind of idea do you know of what you have right now going into this game?
I think I got a pretty good idea of what we have. There's always a guy or two that the anxiety can either make them better or make them worse, and obviously we hope that makes them better, but you never know until you actually get to see them.
I mean, all these guys started at least one game last year, so you've seen all of them out there a little bit, but not in the same spot, though.
Yeah, the spot, the position, the group, and then just something of this magnitude, the first game of the year in that environment down there in Atlanta. I mean, that was awesome when we went down there a few years ago, and then the SEC, I mean, that's a whole different animal. So I don't necessarily know that that's apples to apples, the stuff that happened last year, and we'll see this year.
How much is on these guys, in terms of just pressure and needing to perform right away with how much the run game is going to be a focus of your guys' offense?
We got to obviously play to our strengths, and I think every game you go into it having a pretty good idea what you want to get done, and then you always have to be ready to adjust. And so right now, I mean, that's obviously the plan is we want to be able to run the ball. We also want to throw the football, and so we'll have to get into the game and kind of see what our strengths are, and then play to that after we line up for a few series.
I don't remember Coach Sanford's exact quote, but he basically said, "I feel good about the starters." How do you feel? How deep do you feel okay with having to tap down 7, 8, 9? Where do you feel like you guys are at right now?
I think we got to be one of the only teams in the country that doesn't have a senior offensive lineman in the 2 deep, and we don't even have one. So, again, we got a second group, obviously, but who knows where they're at. I mean, those are a lot of freshmen that have never played, and we got to put them in. And again, there's a difference between games and practices. And you like to think you have a good idea where they're at, but you never know for sure until you let them get out there and play.
As one of the guys that stayed behind and coached with both staffs, what's the offseason kind of been like, and the transformation process, from getting these guys to do something different to the point where you're leading up to actually seeing what this all adds up to?
Yeah. The big thing, I think, with the prior staff, I think everybody was kind of established. The routine was established. you kind of know what you're getting. You go through an off season and a fall camp and spring ball for that matter with a new staff, and everything's brand new. And so, everything's kind of still cutting edge in a good way, where before maybe it got a little monotonous at times because they knew it's all seasonal. I mean, every day you can basically know what you're doing, and so every day's a new day for us here, and hopefully that brings a little energy to it.
I know a lot of the guys last year when they kind of went through that offensive change, they said that they just felt like it was just kind of easier to understand, and now what you're doing is more complex, but it seems like they're more fired up about this, and I guess how would you weigh the difference in?
Yeah, I don't know. You got to wait and see for the first game, but no, I think they're both. I mean, I think everything that we've done here is always there's some common denominator at some point. So there's no recreating the wheel completely at any point. But the way you package stuff and all that, it's different, and but we'll see how it goes.
Baggett and Averill opened the season as starters, and they've got a little experience last year. But what'd you get out of them in camp to solidify those spots?
Well, Steven has been he's been steady Eddie, Mr. Consistent, does everything right, plays with good posture all the time, smart guy, really trust. And we talk about how much your playing time is based on your consistency, how much we can trust a guy. Well, I basically can tell you every play pretty close to what I can expect from him. And so you love that in a guy. He's not an up and down guy. One minute he looks like Ryan Clady, and the next minute he looks like, Coach Bird. But so that's what Steven's done, is he's been very consistent.
And Travis.
And Travis is he's been very consistent as well. I think Travis is still one of those guys that has still a lot more potential, and should have his best football still in front of him. All those guys should have. I mean, there's not one senior, so they should all have it. But I think he's got a decent amount left in the tank.
You got Archie and Mario still competing at right guard. What are you looking for there to kind of close the deal?
Well, really, you got Archie, Mario, Travis. I mean, there's still Archie's a guy that you can plug in a lot of spaces, but Mario, for that matter, can too. Archie was a little banged up for a while there in camp, and so we'll see he lost some reps there. Mario's a big, strong guy. We got to get him to play with good pad level consistently, and he can be a force to reckon with.
How's Reese bounced back this fall?
Reese has been good. I've been pleased with him. He missed spring ball, as you know, and so he caught on really quick. I think all these guys, in general, did a really good job this offseason and really this summertime. Marcus and Reese kind of took the group, by themselves, and they really got better on their own during the summertime, where sometimes older group maybe they don't get a whole lot better, and then you got to grind them in camp. These guys have made a lot of progress just on their own.
He's not your guy anymore, but you probably know Jake Rowe as well as anybody around
here.
And he's the only freshman starter going out there. Yeah. What do you expect from that guy as a freshman walking out in that kind of game?
I just hope Jake Rowe plays like he's from Phoenix and not like he's from Scottsdale. That's a joke between us. We talk to these guys all the time. Their confidence should come from their preparation. And if you feel like you're prepared and you're ready to go, then, hey, let's lay it on the line. You got nothing to be worried about, and we'll see where the chips fall. You and only you know if you prepared the way you should, and so there's a lot of anxiety sometimes with guys that, hey, they might have BS their way around preparing, and that's a real gut check when you line up across some SEC guys. So I think Jake will do a great job. We got complete confidence in him, and good things to come.
You were mentioning not wanting to say too much about the offense. I mean, you guys have kept this under pretty good wraps this camp, and we didn't even get to watch a lot of the team stuff. Old Miss coaches and players are saying that's made it really hard for them because they have no idea what's coming. I mean, how much of that was a goal to keep this offense kind of a secret until Thursday, or what do you think that's an advantage that not much is out there?
Yeah, I mean, shoot, any time is an advantage, but we got all their tape from last year, and shoot, they could have put in a whole new defense for all we know. I mean, that's the first game. It normally comes down to who's going to tackle, who turns over, who doesn't turn it over, and special teams. I mean, that's normally what these games come down to because it's the first time. And I don't know. I don't know if it's been an advantage or not. I don't think anybody's been trying to be hush-hush about it, but it's just if we don't have to let everybody see it, we don't. needs to see it.
And you were mentioning the atmosphere down there. I know last time was full, 70,000. It's only supposed to be like half full for this game. They didn't sell out. I mean, do you feel like that you guys on the line maybe dodged a bullet a little bit where it may not be quite as loud as or crazy as?
Yeah, you know, I don't know. I mean, it'll depend on how loud. I mean, if you can't hear, you can't hear. It doesn't matter if there's 40,000 people and you can't hear, or if there's 150,000 you can't hear. So we'll just kind of have to play that and see how that turns out. But we're prepared for crowd noise. I mean, that's kind of a standard deal now that you prepare for.
With a new group, though, is that one of the concerns you would have first game like that with communication and stuff?
For sure. I hope that we've, again, prepared enough for all those situations. You know, we went to Autzen for the first time. I don't know if you guys remember that. That was a long time ago. We had a bunch of freshman old linemen, and we got out of there. It was supposedly one of the louder places in the country, and we got out of there without any false starts. I mean, you hope and you prepare for it. You just see how it goes. I mean, it's about all